without wasting any time, because we are even started behind schedule, permit me to set a protocol for this great event. Let me quickly recognize, because we know ourselves, but for the purpose of this program, we have to do this. Let me welcome you to the President of the Ibadan Recreation Club 1902, Dr. Soji Tayo. So nice to have you here, sir. The Vice President, who doubles as the Chairman Fundraising Committee, is Light of Abdelia Kila Obama. The General Secretary, Mr. Kaldi Oluwadare. And the young lady, the Assistant General Secretary, Mrs. Shakirat-Adedira. We have the Sports Secretary, Mr. Olumide Daramola. The Maintenance Secretary, Ashwani Febedeni, Ashwani to the board. The Social Secretary, Sademola Adegoke. So nice to have you. Membership Secretary, President Miladi Adewi. The Bank Secretary, Dr. Femani Sode. These are great men who, on resumption of office, have done a lot to actually make Ibadan Recreation Club a better place for all of us. Can we put our hands together for them for this beautiful job done so far? Dr. Yomilayinka, Dr. Kevin Fashola, Mr. Ido Lawson, Mazi Felix Ibe, Dr. Adewale Adeleke, Architect Atilade Adeleke, and the Club Manager Secretary, Mr. Aki Oke. So nice to have all of you here. And this is not forgetting that big masquerade, the one we all refer to as trustee of the club. There's only one present here, but he's not only trustee of the club. Please join me as I welcome into our guest, Dr. Obayomi Tayo. So good to have you here. The question that I know we're rolling through your minds will be, why exactly are we here? You have a clue already. But officially, this is just right for me to invite the chairman of the Ibadan Recreation Club Fundraising Committee to step forward and tell us why have we selected this few number of members in the Ibadan Recreation Club to channel our future for the club. Mr. Akinola, can we have you?
Good evening, everyone. Before I commence, let me welcome the member of the Board of Trustees of the Ibadan Recreation Club here present, Dr. Babayomi Tayo. You're welcome, sir. The President of the club, Dr. Anisoji Tayo. You are very much welcome, my President. Past President of the club, Prince Biodun Adepetu. You're welcome, sir. Every member of the Executive Council here present, you are welcome. With the leading of the President, he said, all of you must partake in this game changer for this club. Each and every one of us contributed. every member of the Central Executive Council here, led by my president, I thank you for your commitment to the club. I appreciate every single contribution you have given to the club. I also appreciate every single member. I think we have about 3 members who have donated generously to support what we are doing in the club, the transformation of the club. We have a gentleman who used to be main anonymous, donated 30 million naira. He generated over 30 million naira to us. We have a non-member who donated 20 million naira to us for the construction of the conference room we have today. We also have a group of young, new members who joined the club freshly. And they said, what can we do to change the narrative of this club? They decided among themselves to contribute. Some of them are right here with us tonight. Contributed among themselves. They told the president. The president told these young guys, look at these young guys. This is what they said they want to do. You get to the club today, as you enter, you see the garden, the family garden. It wears brand new look. In this look, gentlemen, new members of the club have been able to that brand new garden. We, at the Central Executive Council, we have been able to do a lot, led by our residents, renovating, taking back the swimming pool of the club, renovating it to the tune of about 70 million naira. The Shema gave back. We spent about 6 to 7 million to make it what it is today. Some of it we've seen it. Ball Park, we have spent about 150 million, including the donations given to us by 3 individuals that I mentioned. The third one promised us 10 million. He has given us the first tranche of that 10 million, which is 5 million. So, after spending so much of our time, our resources to elevate the club to what it is today, the president said, now it is time to call on other members to come and join us in elevating this club to the top of our dreams, to where we want this club to be. We want the club to be a club for the youth, a club for the middle age, and a club for the old. Prior to now, when you invite people to the club, people say, is it that club of old people? Now that narrative has changed. By the Direction Club is no longer a club of the old people. It's a club of all generations. So we have a lot of projects lined up. You will see them in the video because I think we have like 8 or 9 different projects that we have lined up to further secure our club, to make it a club for the youth, for the middle age, and for the old. So I hope you all will join us in this journey. I welcome you all.
When we say what the Central Executive Committee has actually created as a future for our club, we'll say how interesting it will be for us and how well it can ignite an interest for us to want to be part of it so that we can contribute effectively, just like the chairman of the fundraising committee has just mentioned, that, well, we're not really banking on what you want to give us. But we believe so much that as individuals that has been carefully selected, you have people around you, you have a network of friends who can actually look at the club and want to be part of that future. Let us quickly see the future of Ibadan Recreation Club 1902. We'll be right back. At this point, I would like to quickly call on the president of Ibadan Recreation Club 1902, who will equally address us and tell us more about creating a future for Ibadan Recreation Club 1902. Dr. Soji Tiger, the president of Ibadan Recreation Club 1902. We can do better for him. We can do better for him.
Thank you, Mr. Compere. Putting me behind this podium, I feel like a pastor. Are you feeling me? Say yeah? Yeah. Well, fortunately, I'm not a pastor. Maybe I will be one day. Past presidents of the club, my predecessors, those people that have done the work before I came in, I want to say thank you to you especially. So all past presidents here, please can you be on your feet for people to see those that have started the job before me. We have two here. Yes. We have the one before me and our Baba too. Can you please have your seat? Thank you for the work you've done for the club. And thank you for keeping the club together until I came. And I'm sure that I will keep it together for others that will come after me. The central executive members, they are present. Other officials of the club that worked for the club in the past. The beautiful committee, the game changer, the fundraising committee, I want to thank you. Every member of the Ibadan Recreation Club and our friends, they are present. Good evening. This is a sober, very sober time for Ibadan as a city. And I want to crave your indulgence. We've lost some people inadvertently this week, and I think we need to respect them. Can we please be on our feet for 1 minute? The rest of the souls that we've lost, not prepared, we're not prepared for it, for that. 1 minute silence, please. In trying to think about what to say, my mind went to the fact that why do you really need to give to the club? Why? Giving out to the club actually enriches your life. Giving to the club, both your time, your resources, will help you to familiarize yourself with people of like minds. It's a place that you can sit down and take out all the stress of life and enjoy some banters. What people cannot say to you outside, people will say it to you in the recreation club, and you will laugh about it, with it. Whereas if they say such a thing to you on the street, heaven will fall on that day. Abi, people will tell you stories that you never heard before, and that is where you find older people sitting with younger people playing together. And I'm sure a lot of us seated here wouldn't have known each other if not for Ibadan Recreation Club. And so if you have a beautiful place like that, why can't we make it better? Make it beautiful. Make it in such a way that others will join us. A lot of things we are looking out for, and we have done like this to get it. If Ibadan Recreation Club is what it's supposed to be, because that is the only club in Ibadan that has close to 7 games. And now we're still counting. you want more from what we've seen there. And so you need meat, something as simple as meat. You have all the bank managers, members of the Ibadan Recreation Club, you not get meat. Yeah? You need your kids in school or your grandchildren in school and all the vice chancellors all around Ibadan, members of the Ibadan Recreation Club. How difficult would that be to you? A lot of things you spend money on would have come to us free. And you had Baba Ogialakija telling us that the Ibadan Recreation Club used to have membership of 5,000. Our membership now is far from 1,000. So the club is beckoning on each and every one of us to use our resources. And not just now emphasizing, your resources might not be enough, but your network is enough. You know someone that knows someone that knows someone that knows someone that can do something big for Ibadan Recreation Club. Why can't we use our network to make Ibadan Recreation Club better? Yes, drop your money, but use your network also. Ibadan Recreation, this is the time to do that. And I can tell you a story. If you've been to Lagos Country Club of late, you will marvel at the rapidity at which they've changed the club. Why? Because we saw the little we did in Ibadan. And all of them said, Ibadan ti fẹ́ overtake wa, àwa tá a wà l'Èkó. And so the running was we stay stagnant. No. As they are running, we should be speeding so that they will know that Papa wọ́n wà Ìbàdàn. Abi? And that's what we used to tell them. You know, we were country club and they said Ibadan Recreation Club. And somebody said, point of order, we are not Ibadan Recreation Club just like that. It will be rude of you to just call us Ibadan Recreation Club. We are Ibadan Recreation Club 1902. And the guy got the message and said, Uncle Emma Pino. Because we are the uncle of all the clubs in Nigeria. Ìmọ̀lórin tó kọ pé kò lè ṣe kíjà bá wà wà bọ̀tìjà bá dé ó kí ló yẹ ká ṣe ló yẹ ká parí ṣé àwọn ajá títí tá a máa lọ kò torí. Ladies and gentlemen, if all of us decide to put 2 million naira down, can you please count how many of us are here now? We should be about 100. That's how much? 200 million. Are we not going to have that all that they showed here? Of course, we have a hall on our beach, and then we move away from being Nigeria to being what Nigeria should be. Because as it is now, we are selling the raw material, we are selling the field alone. So people are paying 200,000 to use the field. Just imagine us putting a hall on that beach with the space we have. 1.5 million people will pay. And if they pay 1.5 million, do we need to increase our subscription? No. Do we need to shop for membership? No. People will want to join us because they will get a discount the day they want to use our hall or some of our facilities. That is how it works. Do we need to ask young people to come and join our club? No. Because there is a five-a-side pitch. There are other games. There is a basketball court. Of course, younger people will come and join to be able to use these facilities. And that is what we are saying. Please, let us put our resources together on a good cause for the Ibadan Recreation Club. And selfishly, for ourselves, may God continue to bless us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pastor Sunday Tai. We appreciate you so much. We're on comments, questions, and answers. But before that, let me quickly invite Uncle Yemilaika to quickly say something. Uncle Yemilaika, can we have your teaching?
Thank you. Trustee, President, past presidents, distinguished fellow members of the Ibadan Recreation Club. I just want to thank you to start with. I'm coming back to thank you. But I just want to ride on what the president has said. I just want to read out some of them.
And you know, the starting point for me is to say, or to read that one. It says the best way to predict the future is to create it. And I think that, as the president said, we ultimately would have the club of our desire and dreams if we work hard at it. It's just as we talk about this country, I mean, we complain about things, but the question is, what are we doing to solve the problems we have identified? We all want, as this old song goes, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. All of us want a much better club, but what are we doing, or what have we done for our club lately? I think the important point of departure for me, and sharing these thoughts with my fellow members of IRC, is to know that ultimately it is us that will determine the future of that club. Because, you know, there's also an old favorite quotation of mine, which was written by Franz Fanon, you know, and it says something like, every generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it, or deny it. In other words, each one of us is given a task, a generational task. We've had stories of 1960, 1902. Everybody has played his or her role. This is our turn, our locum, to take the club to the next level. When we were designing this event, the idea was very simply this, and I just want to echo what the chairman of the committee has said. We decided that one of the ways to run this fundraising event or marathon is to have evangelists, to have members of the club who will see and understand the vision and align with it and become ambassadors of that vision. So we carefully selected, and I say this sometimes, it doesn't sit well all the time, but you cannot make progress in life without being discrimination in one way or the other, because you must choose your company. And I made the point about, if you are going to Lagos to want to you end up on the wrong path of time. So in choosing members who are here gathered with us, we were careful. It was intentional. And this is not any disrespect to other members of the club. But we wanted people that we thought have the same mindset, have the capacity, and have the network to help us drive the club to the next level. It's a pity, and we continue to mourn and sympathize with our brethren who have lost lives and property on the occasion of the Tuesday event, which definitely has impacted our event this evening. But we couldn't cancel because we don't have to. We decided that even if it's 10 people that eventually show up this evening, if we can get 5 of them to commit and become game changers, we will be on the path to making the 100 million or 200 million or 500 million that we need to raise in the club. So it's not really about numbers sometimes. It's about the vision and the capacity. And we've seen it in recent times, particularly with the current executive that we have. So I have come out to ride on the coattails of what the chairman of my committee and the president of the club have said, to say that don't let us focus on the numbers and on the empty seats and tables. Let us focus on ourselves. What can I do? Everybody is my friend, I won't mention names, but we know that there is not a single one of us in this room as members of this club that cannot individually contribute at least 1 million naira to the club. Now, it doesn't mean you put your hand in your pocket tonight. It means you can commit to it over a period of 3 months, or thereabouts to say, I personally will commit 1 million, because we committed to other things. Is what? The next thing, as has been emphasized, is your network. Because if you believe enough in the vision, you can use other people. People owe you goodwill, things you have done for them. Recently, in Modakeke, they had their Akurai Day, like in December 16th, just about 4 weeks ago. And the Modakeke man was, as you know, recently made the Comptroller General of Immigrations about 6 months ago when Ashwaju came in. It was his 6 months in office thereabouts. And he was in Modakeke to support his community. And Dangote single-handedly gave him over 100 million, I think 150 million. Because he is Comptroller General of Customs. By virtue of his position, they raised over 400 million on that day. I was chairman Ife Day in 2022. I was chairman Ife Day organizing committee. We raised 35 million. Torah Aleyo in quotes. But because Modakeke had a Comptroller General in office, they raised 400 million. So that's what we're saying. If we have a member that is that Comptroller General, we'll probably raise 250 million. You know what I mean? So I'm saying it's really not your pocket, your money, but your leverage. But more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, why we called you here is to become partners and ambassadors of this new vision and to help the club more than just putting 1 million, bringing 5 million into the club. Thank you very much.
The message is so clear. And at this point, we will like to entertain questions, comments, observations, so that it can be cleared by members.
What is going to be the next, or are they going to do everything at the same time, depending on what fund is available to them? So it will be better for us to know what we are doing and what we are sending to people at every point in time. Thank you.
I'm sure the chairman and members of the committee are taking notes of this. Do we still have questions, observation, comments?
A list of projects that we've highlighted for development of the club. First among which I'm going to reel them out in order of importance is a 33 kVA generator for the club. That power line. We do have a generator already. We have a 250 kVA generator. There's a power line that crosses across the club, in the frontage of the club. It supplies the UCH and the governor's office and the governor's lodge. And we're going to tap into that. As a matter of fact, we got approval. You said right? I said the council got approval to connect to that power line since last year. And at that particular time, the cost estimate was 22 million. I'm sure right now it's going to be more than that, a lot more than that. But that will be number one of our projects. Right now, the reason we make that the very first project for us to handle is because right now the club closes at 10 during the weekday. And during the weekend, we close at 10:30. That's not good enough for a club that want to be of international standard. Now, next after that, we want to redesign the car park of the club. When the membership of the club was in the region of 200, 250, we have ample parking space for all of us. But right now the club is growing. We are approaching 1 million right now, way above 500 membership. So I think right now the members that paid for this year, for last year, I think the region of 700 members that paid. So we can safely say the club is seriously growing. Third item, construction of 1,000-seater hall for the club. Just like the president has mentioned and Dr. Laika has mentioned, we have a field that rents out for 200,000 naira. If we add value to that, definitely we can make a clean 1.5 million every time that hall is used. Complete solar and CCTV cameras all over the club, covering, because security is very important. Number 6 on our list of projects is modernizing and re-equipping the children garden. What we have there, to me, every time I see the architecture that we have, it's like antiquity to me. So there are new, modern things that children can use. We also have a design for that as well. And lastly, from our list here is the beautification and welfare scene of the entire club. Why do you want to wire fence the entire club? If anyone passes at the back of the club today, you see, that a lot of encroachment is going on there. And you see so many things that are eyesore that shouldn't be seen in the Ibadan Recreation Club. I passed there and I wonder, what is this Ibadan Recreation Club? And you see the other side, and you see how clean and decent that place is. So we want to recover that place. I've read them one by one in order of priority. So we can do them as soon as we have funds to complete each of the projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I've been asked by members of the committee to make a very important point, which is that those projects, as we have seen in one or two instances in the club, can actually be branded. Some of these projects can be proposed to individuals and corporate organizations whose names will be attached to that project. So for any of those projects, whether it's the hall, whether it's the five-a-side field, whether it's the car park, if Julius Berger, for instance, were to be approached and they're willing to help us with the car park, we can call it the Berger Park. And if the hall is to be one of our trustees or Babayomi Taiwo Hall, about 150 million. So I just mentioned that for us to also be able to help think it through and propose idea, we can propose it to this institution or this individual. That's how we can also lift some of these things, because we cannot build those things with 10,000 naira, 5,000 naira. We've got to think big and approach those who have the capacity to support us, especially if we can sell it to them in a manner that also drives and satisfies their brand requirements or corporate egos. Thank you.
While we are trying to deal with, it is very useful for us to be able to document this. Some kind of documentation that allows us to know what are the priorities, what are the timelines, and so that even in talking to people or in thinking about this later, we have something to refer to that guides us and that guides our decision making. Thank you. Costing, timelines, priorities, and things that allow us to be able to reflect further the decisions. Thank you.
I'm sure members of the committee are taking note of all this. They're taking note of all that has been said. Do we still have comments, observations, questions that needs answers? In the narration, indicate which of the projects you're trying to support. Thank you for doing that. And if you're still confused, please make sure you get in contact with any of the committee members. I think their names and numbers are on the letter you have. Thank you for doing that. I would like to have music, please. All right.
When I came in, one of my friend was, his son was going to graduate in the medical school in the University of Ibadan. And he said, my son is graduating, that they are going to be sworn in as medical doctors. And I said, I've never even attended. Yes, I've attended so many graduations, but I've never attended this induction ceremony. He said, coincidentally, I've been given only 2 cards. I said, don't worry, I'm in Ibadan. I will get there before you and I will make sure that I'll get a card before you. And of course, I talked to Professor Bakari and I got a card and I sat down there. I just want to tell you an incident that happened there. When I got there, during the induction, they called out indigent medical students. And the provost said, it takes only 425,000 naira to train a medical student. So I had to tap Professor Mibod, who was my senior in school for CDF. I said, no, this cannot be possible. He said, yes, they pay a school fees of 185,000 naira. And they give them an allowance of 20,000 naira per month, which is 240. So if you add 240 to 185, 425. And I said, this number of students cannot pay. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And then, I just resolved. I told Professor Rico, I said, well, you know what? I'm a retiree. I will sponsor only 1 student. But I will make sure that a lot of students are sponsored. And to the glory of God, today, myself and partnering with some friends, we raised 27 million naira for the medical school in University of Ibadan. And Professor Yinka can attest to that because she has gone everywhere mentioning my name. And I said, no, this should not happen. And I think that is the attitude that I want all of us. That's what we've been preaching. Now, let us look at it. Most of us, I spent more time in the club than in any other place. Because, of course, like it's been said, the quality of people you meet in the club, you cannot get them anywhere in this camp. That much I can tell you. So, what are we going to contribute? Like I said, in the case of the 27 million, it is only 425,000 that it was my own money, my own personal money, only 1 student. But the first thing I told one my pastor friend, I said, come, all these things that you people are talking about, come and donate this. And just something like this that they gave to us, he showed in his church in the US. And people started donating money. And like I said, up as of today, we've collected over 20-something million for the medical school. So let's do this. I'm sure all of us know people who can, even if you want to donate 1 million, there are people who will tell. There are people that I know that will tell today that, look, you know what? They made me a member of this committee, or they want to disgrace me, and it's only 1 million naira that I want, and I want to donate to someone. Please help me. That's what Chief Laika has preached. That's what the president and the vice president of the club has preached. And that is the message I want us to take away today. Let this be a legacy that we want to leave for the club. Will you want to be part of that legacy? I am going to be part of that legacy, and I'm sure you are going to be part of it too. Thank you very much.
One last announcement is that you'll be hearing from us. You may notice that we did not do the traditional fundraising of, oh, I donate 1 million, I donate 5 million, because we think it's a classier process that we engage at individual level, rather than all the political soapbox. Thank you. Therefore, we will be, what we decided to do is, first of all, those of us, of you, ladies and gentlemen, who have honored us with this attendance. We will reach you personally. Those who couldn't make it, and there are those who have sent in apologies, they couldn't make it because they're out of town, and now unfortunately some of them have the Tuesday incident which affected them. We will be reaching out to these individuals. More importantly, and I think that bears repeated emphasis, more important is that we want you, 50, 60 of you members of the Ibadan Recreation Club that we have identified, to become part of the fundraising machine. So it's not just your 1 or 5 million, it is that we want Prince Adepetu to help raise 10 million. We want Dr. Omonike to help raise 20 million. We want Chief Wale Shodipo to help raise 25 million. And it is in this light that we will be engaging, so that we don't put undue pressure, so that you can also tell us how you want to approach it. The important thing is Etiwo train. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I have to stand what you say. Gone are the days that you give money to the club and then the only time you hear about how your money was spent to be at the AGM. No. You can ask questions from day one you've given the money. That's if you give money. If you want a project, they give you the prototype of what we want, you execute it as the club wants it, because we have a development committee that would have approved that project. So you are free to question your money and ask. Nobody will be angry. So don't be afraid to ask questions about how your money is being spent. One other ritual that I forgot the other time that I think I shouldn't forget is the fact that we've been listening to a song here. And you've been hearing songs about the Recreation Club by Ebenezer Obey. Do you think it's cheap? We are not easy. Are we easy? We are not easy. We are not easy. The money did not come from your contribution to. So I told him, I said, okay, what do we do? And you know what? He just came back and said, Soji, don't worry, I'm going to foot the bill. So the person paid for Obey to sing for us. So he has watched the record for us, and I'm sure some of us that have a copy of it. We copied it on the platform. I think it's on YouTube now. You can download it on YouTube.
Because we love this club so much, and we're members, we all rise up to sing the club anthem. So actually, wrap up.
Only the best, the best, the best is only the Ibadan Recreation Club. For business, for physical excellence, love, harmony, is service in every walk of life. We shall lead the nation, we shall serve the nation, we shall stand and serve and live, one God to the glory of God. Only the best, the best, the best is only the final recreation for wisdom, shoulder, for physical excellence, love, harmony, in service in every walk of life. We shall lead the nation, we shall serve the nation, we shall stand and stand and live, one God to the glory of God. We shall lead the nation, we shall serve the nation, we shall stand and stand and live, one God to the glory of God. One God to the glory of God.
Long live IOC, and it's an all too. God bless you all. Thank you.